We're here at the NSI booth. Number of very important guests here today. This owl here looks far more wise and far more composed than I will ever look. Here to tell us more about why the owl is here, but also more about the NSI as a whole, is Richard and also Graeme as well. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you finding IFSEC this year?
Well, it's really exciting this year. We've got a number of new things, but first and foremost, we're here to meet with our 1,800 approved companies, many of whom are visiting us here today, and some of their clients who are inquiring about the benefits of certification in fire and security.
Well, tell me a bit about what the NSI is.
Well, we are first and foremost a certification body approved by UCAS, and we're also an assessing body appointed by the SIA, which supports the guarding sector.
Approved by UCAS. Now I think of UCAS as a University Admissions Service. Is this the same UCAS?
This is the United Kingdom Authorisation Service.
Right, okay.
It's part of the Trade and Industry, Department of Trade and Industry.
Understand. And how long has NSI been certifying different tradesmen and different trades bodies for?
Well, we and our predecessors have been in the business now for about 40 years. So, and operating in the guarding sector and in the fire and security services sector.
Sure. And what sort of conversations are you having with visitors to your booth here today, other than, wow, look at that owl just there? What sort of chats are you having?
Well, we've had several clients who come onto the stand today who for the first time have been awarded NSI approval for their services within the industry. Very keen to get their selfie with our owl here, and also to hear about our new approvals which we're introducing this year.
And what are those new approvals?
So the main approval that's coming through in 2016 is the powered gates approval, which Graeme here can explain the detail on.
Graeme, hi. Talk to me about powered gates then, because you are the man.
Allegedly. So the vast majority of our customers are actually installers of security systems, and we audit those companies to an incredibly high standard. So they are basically operating at the highest standard that they possibly could do in any circumstances in the industry. Ironically, they're all installing to those standards for most of their product range, but many of them over the years have also started to install powered gates, for which there aren't actually any recognised firm standards. So over the last 3 years we've been working with an organisation called the Door and Hardware Federation, the DHF, and they've developed a very rigorous code of practice with us, and we've turned that into a certification scheme. We've just actually completed a 3-month pilot audit program, and we're ready to launch that program tomorrow at IFSEC.
Terrific. And are you seeing a lot of interest when it comes to your certifications in powered gates? Is this you say it's a growth area? Are people biting? Is this is it generating some interest?
Well, it's quite interesting actually, because one of the reasons why we started on the program is because of the concerns being expressed by our companies, because they were actually inheriting unsafe gates. Gates actually have had a very poor record over the last 10 years. Been a number of sad, tragic deaths, particularly of children and serious accidents. So they were the ones who came to us and said, well, we really do need to have a new standard that actually we can stand up and be proud of. So actually, yes, we've had quite a lot of interest. Some quite large companies have come to us and said, yes, we want to get on board.
So really filling a need. Thank you very much indeed, Graeme. And Richard, finally, in terms of the trends and stuff, I guess if you're certifying people who are doing their jobs here, what sort of things do you think you'll be certifying? Powered gates being one example of a new area. What sort of things do you see happening in the near future, and maybe a little bit more medium term, that in terms of industry trends that you guys are going to have to keep across, the same as everyone else is here?
Well, we're very, very keen to work with the British Standards authorities in terms of developing and contributing to new standards. And when these standards come along, of course, the most important thing from our perspective is being able to inspect and audit against them in a good way, in a constructive way. So we're very keen to cooperate with the industry to ensure that standards are in fact auditable. In terms of trends, we're finding more and more companies seeking approval from us to demonstrate to their customers their competence and their expertise in particularly CCTV, in access control, and in specialist installations where approval is a real asset to them.
Sure. Well, listen, thank you very much for joining us and for bringing your guests along as well. Richard and Graeme from the NSI, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thanks.